Hello and welcome to Fantasy Fives, a podcast where I, Ray Bradshaw, chat to an esteemed guest all about their dream five-a-side team. Today, we have a very special guest, a sentence I don't get to say that often, the top foreign national goal scorer in Serie A, Lana Clelland. Lana, that's a good introduction, isn't it? How's life for you?
Fair, I'll take that. Well done. Hello. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I've got a beef with you slightly. Might as well get it out of the way. You were on American holiday. I was on American holiday. I saw your pictures afterwards. You've come back still with a six-pack, and I've come back with 4 kilograms heavier. So how did that happen? What do you let loose on holiday or not?
Yeah, sometimes. There's obviously not every single meal every single day, but there's days where you can cut off less. But probably the amount of walking that I did, to be fair. And I only really had 10 days off this year, so I've kind of been training hard over the summer.
So what, 10 days? How come only 10 days off?
I'm just getting on a bit, so I just need to keep the body moving, otherwise it's going to stop.
Have you noticed it? Do you feel it?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously different. It's funny when you're younger, like all the older players tell you, do the little things, look after your body, and you're just like, yeah, that's not going to happen to me. But obviously, you just get to the stage. Obviously, a lot of us have played across some very bad AstroTurf pitches over the years, and it's just taken its toll, to be honest with you. But we're still going.
Yeah, honestly, I saw that picture yesterday when I was doing some research, and I was like, oh, in the politest way, I was like, fuck her, man. That's not fair. That is absolutely not fair. So you said you get 10 days off. You're currently out in Italy. You will recap your career in a little bit, but how's life out there? Are you enjoying it?
Life's great, yeah, honestly. I've just kind of fitted to the lifestyle, the Italian lifestyle. Obviously been here for so long now, but I just love it. I love the sun, the coffee, the food, the people, just the everyday living of life, honestly. It's just me down to a T. I've just found myself, to be honest.
Because this is what, your 4th Italian club. I will be butchering some words. Sassuolo? How do you do the U? What do you do?
Sassuolo.
Sassuolo, right, that's not how you spell it. So Sassuolo. So Sassuolo out there. And like I said at the start, you are the top foreign national goal scorer in Serie A, which is incredible. So you've been to 4 clubs out there. Is Italy home for good now, Jenk?
Yeah, 100%. It's funny because after a couple of years, my mum said, you're never coming back. But I was still kind of in that phase of loved coming home. And then when I moved to Florence to go to Fiorentina, after honestly 6 months, I was like, yeah, Mum, you're right. I ain't ever coming home. You know that? You ever moved away from home, and then when you'd go back to where you came from, you'd have that maybe not goosebump feeling or butterfly feeling. I honestly got that when I would go to Florence, and that's just that from that moment on, it just changed for me. So yeah, it's probably home now.
Yeah, of course you did, because Florence is one of the best cities in the world. It's not like when you played for Rangers, where were you living? Whereabouts in Glasgow were you living?
Do you know I wasn't? I was living in Edinburgh. I was travelling.
Right, there you go. What would you rather live in, Edinburgh or Florence?
Exactly.
So this is because career, we're going Rangers, quite prolific, Spartans, quite prolific, and then all of a sudden you move to Bari in Italy. Who taps you up? How does that work? Because the Scottish game wasn't as established as it is now, because now the Scottish women's game just now is phenomenal with 4-way leaderships and the top flight and all that. But how does that come about? Did you reach out to someone? Did they come to you? How's it go?
No, so ever since I was a little girl, all I wanted to do was play football professionally. And at that moment in time, I had a job. I was in the gym in the morning, having a 8-9 hour day work, and then going to training at night. And it was just hard. It was difficult. So me and my dad sort of put me up on LinkedIn and tried to get as much out there. Tried to get as much out there as we could. And I'd scored a couple of goals that kind of went not viral on YouTube, but they were out there. And an agent just contacted and said, I've got 2 teams in Italy looking for a striker.
And what was your choices? Bari, and what was the other one?
The other one at the time was Cuneo, but they were very north of Italy. So it just happened. I didn't really have a choice. It ended up the other team pulled out just because a foreign player back in those days cost quite a lot of money. So yeah, just went to Bari.
And what was your job? What job did you leave to go there?
I used to work for Jusins, sales and administration.
No, imagine. you're trying to get Juicens. What do they do? They do like hardware building stuff. Yeah.
Building supplies,
Imagine
yeah.
you're trying to get stuff for your kitchen and you can't because the person selling you is fucked off to play professionally in Italy. That's incredible. And because how often are you getting? I'm sure it must happen. The Rose Reilly comparison, is that stopped now that you've become a lot more of a fixture over there, or is it still mentioned?
A little. Do you know what? There was at the very start. She got mentioned. Like I'm talking first couple of weeks that I was out there, and I honestly, I felt awful in the moment because I had no idea who she was. I
No,
had 10 years ago. Nobody knew in Scotland, and it's embarrassing. And we've spoke about it like it's past, but obviously that made me find out a lot more about her. So to see over the last like 6 years, 5-6 years, that she's getting the attention that she fully deserves. Is unbelievable. But yeah, that comparison came around a lot, but it's kind of settled down in the last couple of years.
So did you just think when you went over and people were saying, oh, you're a bit like Rose Reilly, were you just thinking that was like a mad Scottish woman that lived in the city for a bit, or what?
No. So they said like, because basically there was a journalist who was a baby at the time, and his dad interviewed Rose Reilly. And he had this picture, and it was him interviewing Rose Reilly, and he was a baby in this journalist's arms, and he was like, "That's me with Rose Reilly," and I was like, "Who is Rose Reilly?" And so he had to try and explain a little bit more.
That's so good. She would hate that as well. I remember, I don't know if I'll just tell you. I remember interviewing her, and she just really wanted to meet Craig Brown because I think she wanted to fire into him. Like, that's all she spoke about. She's like, when's Craig Brown getting here? And he was coming later. But, well, he might be coming twice. I don't know. But I was just like, oh, come on, man. Like, why does this keep happening? It was, she's a absolutely fascinating character because in the time you've been over there, obviously, Florence, you're at Sassuolo now? No, Sassuolo. Because you're the only person that when I've been messaging to get on the podcast has asked for a different date because they're going to the beach that day. So what's life like for you now? Not to throw you under the bus, but what is life like?
No, yeah, of course. It's obviously during the summer periods from like May to September, Italians are at the beach. Like basically the full of August, Italians are at the beach. And it's funny, all my friends that I've got over here now are always like, oh, when are you coming? But I'm obviously in pre-season. So it just depends. And we've changed coach this season. So far he's been nice. And we've had like maybe 5-6 days with double sessions and then 2-3 days off. So yeah, tomorrow I'm going to the beach for the weekend.
Nice. It's just such a nice way of life because how long did it take you to adjust from that full-time football, from working at Juicens to heading out there? Was that first kind of 6, 12, maybe 24 months? Do you still think I better not cock this up because I could go back to that? Or how's it work?
No, so I actually only came out here for 6 months to experience a different style of football. I'd came back from an injury in Scotland, and obviously the leagues were the opposite. So it was coming towards the end of the Scottish season, and they were halfway through their season. And I was needing game time. There was Scotland games coming up, and I was still trying to push myself into that squad. So it honestly just came about at the best time for me. And I thought, do you know what? 6 months, I'll go give it a try. I don't know what the league's like because nobody knew what the league was like back then. But I thought at the end of the day, I was even quite a shy person back in the day. So I thought, you're going to come back with a little bit more experience, life experience, personal experience, football experience, and see where you can take it. And then I've just never came home.
It's mad. Have you not been? You must have had offers back from Scotland, America, other countries, England. Have you had stuff like that?
Yeah, I have over the years. Yeah, it's fun. A little less. I think people have kind of cottoned on to the fact that I'm probably just going to be staying here. So the last couple of nobody can really take the pasta and the sun away from me right now. But there's been offers over the years, but I've found myself in Italian football. I always knew that I didn't fit into Scottish football. Like the league, the style.
What do you mean by that?
Just the technical aspect of it. It was a lot more physical, and I always liked to be on the ball. And I know I've obviously like grown massively my technical side of the game, but I just never fitted into. I couldn't find myself. Yeah, I would score goals and I would play okay and whatnot, but I just never found that actual love of the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and do you think you're the person that inspired all the, now on the male side of things, all the Scots coming over?
I don't like to say that, but
but yes.
So like when Liam came across, he messaged me straight off, like, what's the chat? What's it like? So me and Liam have got a really good relationship now. Like, we're always hitting each other up, like trying to see each other's games and stuff. So he was the first one, and obviously he's probably been that person for the boys coming after. But I get quite a lot of messages as well from younger people, like, what's the league like? What's the chat? What's going on out there? And I think that's just going to keep growing. The more the Italian national team, especially in the Euros, are doing well, I just think that's going to grow, and the interest is going to become bigger and bigger.
Because you're talking about Liam Henderson, you've got his strip behind you, next to Frank Ribery, Dragoni, Parisi. It's a lovely Rasparoni, lovely combination. Do you think he's got your strip up in his living room?
No, it's still in my wardrobe. He is due it, but I've just not seen him for a while. So no, he asked for a certain one because it was a white with like a green slice through it, and as soon as it came out, he was like, "I want that."
There you go.
I've just not seen him yet, so yeah.
Oh, amazing! And then when we look at that, like, because it was funny you saying you thought it was more physical here, because you are quite a good player for like a highlight reel. You like to score a wee screamer every now and then. The one that stands out was in the World Cup against Japan. That was a disappointing campaign, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we could have done so much more than what we did, to be honest with you. It's just one of those things that you're in and you're out, because you've got to take the chance when you've got it. Even the England game, looking back, like, they're such short score lines. People maybe remember the games in the first half, England were all over us, but second half we came out and gave it a go. We were lucky not to get a point off that game. Exactly.
Should we not have had a penalty? Should we not have had a penalty in that game? I made that up. I can't remember. Sure, maybe.
The Japan game, maybe.
Was it that? And then the Japan game, you score a screamer.
Yeah.
The FIFA World Cup official page shared recently, again, I saw. So try to get some money off that. Speak to an agent, or knowing you, put it up on LinkedIn and try to see if you can do it that way. But then also the last game, like, how did we not do that?
Honestly, I still don't have the answers. How many years have passed? 6. I'm still clueless.
I'm going to get you to repeat that, because for the first time ever, pulled my headphones out laughing at my own joke.
It wasn't that funny either.
It's okay, I'll fix them. So what did you say about the last game, sorry? We'll keep all that in, that's fine.
I just said that I'm, like, even still after 6 years, I'm clueless of how that game finished the way it did. I
remember watching it, just being like, how is this happening? Because I was at the Jamaica game before the send-off at Hampden, and it was like the nicest crowd I've ever been in. It was people you don't see normally going to the game, and it felt like this swell for the women's game was finally happening, and obviously stuff happened now. Do you ever look at the way the Scottish game is now in terms of clubs and feel a bit jealous that you didn't grow up in that?
I wouldn't say jealous. I would say that it's amazing for young kids now to be able to see what they can be. Because I think the biggest thing for our generation was we couldn't see that. It was like, I knew from so young that I wanted to be a women's football player, professional. And even I would have like meetings in school, and they were like, you need to choose your subjects. I'm like, no, I'm going to be a football player. And they were like, it doesn't exist. Like, you can't be that. And I was like, no, I'm going to be that. So like,
it doesn't exist. Jeez.
Yeah. I had a chemistry teacher tell my mum and dad that I had to stop playing football and concentrate on chemistry.
Maybe you could have done history and learned who Rose Reilly was. That might have helped, but like the rest of the time would have been, geez. So can you imagine someone saying that, 15 years later? Can you imagine someone saying that?
No, like, I was actually laughing with my mum and dad not long ago about that. Like, all the things that have changed. Like, even just my mum had to phone the school and say, do you know, like, why are they not playing in the girls' tournament? We, like, my local team, we had so many girls and we were all at the same school. Why are they not playing in that tournament? And they were like, oh, we don't have anybody that plays. And she was like, yes, you do. And we went on to win the Scottish Cup.
Just because your mum phoned the school?
Because my mum phoned the school.
What a legacy. Wow. That's like, it's fascinating, because for me right now, there's a couple of people that know I will do some work in football. So they will reach out and say, my daughter is at Rangers under 14s, or she's at Thistle, or she's doing this. Can you get one of the players in that club to come and speak to? And every single person I've messaged who's been over here, who's nipped out, has all said yes, because they were in that position 10, 15 years ago and they had nothing like that. They didn't. I'm guessing. I mean, I'm mansplaining here, but I'm
Yeah.
guessing the role models didn't really exist that much, apart from your Joe Loves and your people who've been around for a million years. It seems she's just signed for Thistle, I think. So yeah, it's such a different game. And where do you think it's going to go? Do you think the Scottish game's going to get bigger and bigger? And do you think our national team's ever going to win anything soon, i.e., a playoff game or something like that?
Yeah, I think the thing is with women's football, like there's nothing stopping it. It's just going to get bigger and better. The national team, I hope all these youngsters coming through are just going to explode, I hope, and just take us somewhere, because there's obviously the last couple of campaigns have been disappointing. So fingers crossed all the kids coming through now can just look up and see the Euros on TV and be like I want to be there, I want to take Scotland there. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, and last night, so we're recording this the day after Italy have won the quarterfinal. Did you have a wee Italy top on?
I didn't, but I had tears in my eyes.
Did you?
I did.
Have you had, like, I was going to say colleagues. God, that's so formal. Let's go back to your LinkedIn days. So, like, do you know a lot? I mean, you'll have played against a lot of the players on that team. Do you have teammates in the team?
I've got former teammates. A lot of my current teammates are younger players coming through. So I know all the girls. And that's just the thing. Like, even Reilly, who's obviously scored the 2 goals last night, like we've both been playing against each other for like 10 years. Like, we know each other, and I feel a part of their movement now. Like, I know I'm Scottish and stuff, but I've been here for 10 years and I feel part of the growth of the Italian Women's League. So for me to see them exceed is obviously it's just amazing.
I think you are quite culturally Italian as well, because when I was asking about the strips that I can't see at the top, the pronunciation. Just run us through some of the names, please, Lana, just to show off your absolute legendary status at it.
Fratesi, Lariente, Raspadori, Parisi, Brustia, Mauro, Dragoni.
And this is someone who used to work at Juicens. This is how life can change. That is incredible. And final thing I'm going to ask you before we move on to your Fantasy Five teams. When you moved over, did you get media training? Did you have to go through all that? Or did you get any when you were at Rangers or at Spartans? Was that something that happened? Because now a lot of the younger players that come through, they are so media trained, you can tell straight away. And that's why I've always enjoyed speaking to players who maybe played a little bit longer, because they've got the hybrid of them. So sometimes they'll say something that you actually want them to say. What did you get? Yeah, 100%. It's way more fun getting shouted at by Emma McCandy because threatening to batter you because you've asked something. It's way more better.
No, I think the first media training we got would have been in the national team. Pre-Euros, pre-World Cup, just the normal sort of formal stuff that you have to go through, yeah. It's a lot more stricter now with club. Like, I had to message someone and say, I'm doing this.
Did you for this?
I did, yeah. I would have got in trouble.
I
would have got in trouble. And they usually want to be present, but I was like, don't worry about it. It's just, I'm just
imagine they'd been present and they'd seen that bit when the headphones came out and I was laughing at myself. Oh, God.
They wouldn't understand a word you're saying anyway. So.
Yeah, that's such a valid point, actually. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into your Fantasy Five-a-side team. We had a couple of footballers we've chatted to so far. Did you play much five-a-sides?
I didn't, I think I've probably played more since I've been here, just like in training, because they do it quite a lot. Or sevens. They love a bit of sevens.
Yeah, I love sevens. Sevens is better. Sevens is suits your game, just shooting from anywhere.
100%.
It's much better. So what you wanting to do for this? Because usually we will do a player from the team you support, but with footballers, we've done it for someone you played with or someone you grew up watching. We can kind of be vague on that. So first of all, are you going to have a goalie?
I'm gonna pick a goalie because I'm gonna go for my team that I support, just because I need a goalie.
So who did you grow up supporting?
Rangers.
Oh, did you? Oh, I don't know. That surprised me. Usually people in football media have done okay. Support Celtic. That always seems to be the thing. It really is in Scotland. So you grew up a Rangers fan. So who's the goalie? Oh, so you play for your childhood club?
I did, yeah.
What was that like? Enjoyable?
Unbelievable. Obviously, it's different back then to what it was now. But I just jump at the chance. Like, for me to pull on that shirt. I also, here's a fact for you, I was the first female to score an Old Firm goal.
That's a great fact. And what we might do is re-record that later and pretend I came up with that. That's what we'll do. That's the best way to do it. That's because no officials from your clubs here, so I can make up what I want. So the first goal. Wow. Okay. So when was that?
Oh, if you're asking me to pull out years, I have no idea. Back in the day, because I was the first. I played in.
You cannot go. I've got a fact for you, and then go. Oh, it was back in the day.
That's your job to pull out the dates, surely.
I think you played for Rangers like 2011, 2010, 2011, 2012, something like that.
No, I think before that. Hold on, I left school in 2008, and I was already in the under-17s for a year, 2 years, and then I would have went on to the women's team 2008, 2009.
Okay, so let's call it 2009. Was it a good goal? Was it a sclaff? What was it?
It was all right.
The fact you've hesitated means it was shite.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, someone just put me through the defenders, and I just went scored past the goalie. It wasn't a hard goal, but.
Were you aware of the significance of it at the time?
No, it was all a bit new. The full thing was a bit new. The old firm, it was strange because they were trying to obviously get fans in and stuff, but it was like this full new thing. So there was like, back then probably, a lot of people, but as of today, it was probably only about 30 folk in the background.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so you're picking a goalie from the team you support. Who are you going for?
I'm going to go for an older goalie just because I grew up watching him. Stefan Klos.
Oh, yes. Stefan Klos, I thought he was absolutely class. So you grew up, were you going to the games? What were you doing at that kind of era?
Yeah, I was going to the games with my dad. He would take me along quite a lot, to be honest with you. So.
And then why Klos over Gorham, over some of the goalies you've played with? What made him special?
Gorham was probably just a little bit before my time, so I've only really seen like videos of him and stuff, and my dad talking about him and how he was the best. But probably just because of the era that I grew up in watching them. I could have went Alan McGregor as well, to be honest with you, from some of the stuff he's pulled out in European games especially, but I just remember Klos. He was just consistent, always there.
So if you left school 2008, I think I'm 3-4 years older than you. So I grew up roughly similar period, and I remember just seeing him just be absolutely brilliant the whole time. I'd love it if you pick that whole Rangers era, but not the good ones. So like we could have Rosenthal, we could have, do you know, oh, she's going to hate me saying this. My wife grew up a Rangers fan, and there's a picture of her in a Rangers kit when she's like 9 or 10, and she looks like Sebastian Rosenthal. She's the absolute spit. And I put it up one time on social media laughing, and within 10 seconds she'd put a picture up of her Photoshop with John Hartson. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. I'd rather look like Rosenthal than John Hartson, let's be honest. Yeah. So what in Italian football and women's football generally, are the goalies viewed as mental as they are in the men's game?
Yeah, they're all pretty special. They do some weird stuff, and they all hang about together. They're just special, aren't they?
So the goalies union is something that I never really believed until I saw it. It's weird. So sometimes when we're doing Scotland stuff, we did stuff together before. Xander Clark, Liam Kelly, Craig Gordon will only speak to each other. They won't really speak to anyone else. They'll hang about, and it's like you're in competition for that one role. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They're just a weird bunch. When you went away with Scotland for, say, the World Cup or away trips, do you room together?
We did room together, yeah.
Who did you get?
I was always rooming with Chloe Arthur.
Okay, that's not bad. There's some when you'd be like, oh, that's an interesting one. But yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, so you've got Stefan Klos in goal. Your next pick, Lana Clelland. Who are you going for? I'm
going to put my mate in there, Liam Henderson.
Are you?
Okay.
So when you're out there, he's moving out. Where did he move to first? Empley? Barry? Where did he go first?
His first stop was Barry, I think, the same as mine.
Was it Barry? So he goes out there. He messages you. Are you aware of him at this point? Do you know much? Or do you think, oh God, this is another Scottish wannabe trying to come over here? What do you think?
The first thing that happened was, I'm obviously a Rangers fan. He was at Celtic, and I get followed on Twitter.
So you're thinking, oh God, they found out the truth.
I'm like, oh no, nah. I'd seen a rumour that it was going to happen, and I was like, oh, good for him. Because I think also similar style, never really, no, I don't want to say achieved, because he's obviously achieved great things, but I think the thing is with Liam, like, see if you don't watch him week in, week out, I don't think you can appreciate him as much as probably, and that's probably why he's in my team, because I've just seen him constantly over the last few years.
And because he's moved about, he's captained, he's been very successful over there. What do you think he'll bring to your team?
He'll bring balance. He can create goals. He can defend. He's got an engine. He'll get up and down that park, even if it's just a small pitch.
Yeah, it's just in a bleak test, really, isn't it? That's all it is.
He's also going to boss the other ones about, and he can also speak Italian and English. So,
okay, so is that important for your future picks? Is
it's
that
important. It's important.
Okay. So you've got Stefan Klos, Liam Henderson, who is he without a club just now? What's he doing?
No comment.
Okay, you know then. That's good. That's good. Yeah, because I remember I saw him linked with a couple of teams. Do you know what way? Like I don't know if you're a bigger football geek with me. I read it all and take it all in, but then don't put it anywhere. So I've got some knowledge there. Okay, so he's potentially moving. I look forward to him signing for Sassuolo in the future. Pronunciation was okay there. So we've got
it was better.
yeah. So we got better. Thank you. We got Henderson. We got Klos. Pick number 3, Lana. Who are you going for?
3, I'm gonna put in beside him. I'm gonna put in Aaron Cuthbert.
Oh yes. Good. Yes. This is what I was trying to explain to my wee boy recently. So my wee boy is 5 years old. He is obsessed with football just now as of the last 2 months. I took him to a Thistle game the other night to try and wean him off, but it's not worked yet, so he's still really into it. But see, I was trying to explain to him that he's loving the Scotland men's team, but I was like, you've got to remember, Alex, the Scotland women's team's midfield consists of a Chelsea player, a Real Madrid player, and a Bayern Munich player. This is the team that you need to go. Yeah. So Erin Cuthbert, you probably would have played with her when she was a youngster coming through. Could you tell how good she was going to be?
Yeah. My first memory of Erin is I was still at Rangers at the time, and I was probably just on the verge of leaving. And one of my old coaches, who was head of youth, said, "There's this kid coming through, and honestly, she's like a mini Messi." And back then it was just kind of at the time you're like, all right, yeah. You know, people just say comments like that sometimes. And then when she came through, I was just like, wow, okay.
So your first training session you see with her, are you blown away straight away?
Yeah, she obviously came into the Euros 2017 Euros, and that was probably her first. She was on it, and rightly so. Took a place straight away, right in the team.
Does that scare you when you see that and think, or is that good for Scottish football? How, when you're in the team, do you start worrying, or are you pleased? What happens?
No, I think the thing is, over the years we've had a lot of talent, but we've maybe had 11 good players who can. To see youngsters coming through, because I think I was of a generation like me, Lisa Evans, Emma Mitchell. It was us, and then there wasn't really much coming through after us. So to see this young kid coming through and just going straight into the team, we were like, okay, we need more of that. The more that can come through, the better. So it was just class. And
personality-wise, I don't think I've met her. What's she like?
No.
She sound? Will she fit in well with Stefan Klos?
I don't know if Stefan Klos will understand the words she says.
Is it bad? Was she from Killie or something like that? Is she?
Yeah, sure I am.
Yeah.
Down that way, aye.
So, yeah, that'll be fun. So Liam Henderson I don't know if he speaks German as well. He could be the translator in that. Was there an honourable mention for another kind of midfielder in there? Or was Erin Cuthbert the first one you thought of there?
It's obviously hard to pick between her and Caroline. Obviously playing at Real Madrid, and she's just been class over the years. I just think as a complete overall midfielder is the last. I'm glad to see the recognition she's been getting, especially in that Chelsea team. I think over the years it's been hard to get the standout performances, but I thought last season she was absolutely class and deserves every single personal award as well that she got, because she was first class. Yeah,
because she also looks like, I've got a few people that obviously are friends with her, and you always see social media posts in the off season. She looks fun on a night out as well. I'm not sure she babies, I don't know, but she just looks like she's having the time of her life.
She's great banter, honestly. It's funny because back in the day we used to say, for such a young person, she had an older woman's head on her body. She was just already so grown up. But yeah, she's brilliant. She's life of the party. we've had a few trips to Ibiza together, so she's definitely.
I saw that. Was
that
like last year or 2 years ago when pretty much half of the Scotland women's national team over the past 10 years all seemed to be in Ibiza at the same time? Looked very.
There's been a few, yeah.
Looked very sweet. I was like, yeah, that's great. Okay, so this is a strong start. So you got Liam Henson, Erin Cuthbert, Stefan Kloss, Lana Clelland, your fourth pick.
I'm gonna come back to my Italian, and I'll say the guy first. Not played with him, but see him very regularly. Plays for Sassuolo, Domenico Berardi. His left foot is an absolute wonder. You've probably seen it the most when Italy won the Euros. But he's just class.
This is what I would call a football manager pick. In that he's absolutely class in that game. So what made you pick him? Like, actually, no, let me ask a different question. You're saying you'll see him play for Sassuolo. God, I'll get there at one point. Do the men and women's team train in the same bit? What's the crossover?
Yeah, basically we have like our building is a big long building. We're on the right hand side and they're on the left hand side. So there's a lot of crossover. We see each other every day, basically.
And do you ever get inter-team romances? Does that happen? Or is that what the corridor's for? You're not allowed that?
We're on separate floors.
Oh, what the beautiful thing about that was that's not a no. That is good. We're on separate floors. I love that. So if you're crossing over and stuff like that, do you go watch a lot of the men's games? You've seen it on telly. Do you ever, I take it you wouldn't train together ever really, would you?
No, training, no. At the end of the year, we always have like a barbecue together at the training ground, and there's some rondos and stuff going on with people, like massive ones, big circles with people honestly flying in. It's a great bit of banter, but
footballers are. I mean this in the politest way, Lana. Footballers sometimes can be such losers because you're having an end of season barbecue to celebrate, and then you're competing against each other in wee training exercises. But I know.
Can I just say there's a lot of alcohol going on about this.
Is that okay? Okay.
It's very funny.
So that makes it better. Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So with Berardi himself, has he mainly played his whole career in Italy? I can't think of him coming out, has he?
No, he's been at Sassuolo for the last 13, 14 years, I think. He came through here as a young boy, back when they were in Serie B, and then back up to Serie A. He's had offers year after year after year, but
I love that. I love that so much. Like, because you played for 4 different Italian clubs. Sassuolo, it sounds like you'll be there for a little bit. Do you wish you'd stayed at any other one's circumstances? Because I know sometimes it's not the footballer's choice. I know that kind of thing. Are you happy with the journey you've made?
I think if it was down to me, I probably would have stayed at Fiorentina a lot longer. A lot of things happened between coaches. My knee injury as well probably didn't happen at the right time. COVID happened and that just messed everything up, to be honest with you. But the first year that I had at Fiorentina was probably one of my favourite out of my full career. I just felt like I was in peak performance, able to express myself, and I got the city. The people, everything, it was me. So yeah, it probably wasn't my not 100% choice, but obviously when Sassuolo came in, it was an opportunity for me to put my head down, work hard, and try and get back to where I was. Because of obviously the injury that I had, it was just really bad timing with COVID, so it took me longer to come back. But happy to be here now. Obviously, the last few years I've just been able to express myself, and as well, like over the last couple of years, when you get on a little bit, I'm just appreciating that older player to younger player relationship and trying to help and bring the new generation through. So to be that person for the team and for the club, I'm really enjoying right now. So yeah, things happen, but you always got to try and take the best of what you can.
And what you mentioned your knee injury. The knee injury level in the women's game is atrocious. Like, you must know probably, I'd imagine, a third of teammates over your career has maybe had one, something like that. Is it that high?
Honestly, it's scary. Sometimes we actually talk about it within the team. Like, you can go around the team and there's more than 3/4 of the team who have got that scar. Like, it's...
like that blows my mind because I'm obviously not a player. I was quite ignorant to it. And then you slowly notice it happening more and more and more and more to young players. Like I think Emma Watson had it recently, and you see that. So is that something that's just part and part of the game now, and until something's done about it?
You know, I think until the research is done, I think for the last 20 years, nobody's known how to coach or train a women's football player. We're always kind of treated as like, I don't want to say like little men, but it is basically that, like, oh, just a little bit less weight or a little bit less reps. And our body is completely different. So until the research is done into why or how we can train a woman's body, and I think it is getting better, like the difference from when I first started to now, the difference in training, the difference in intensity, it's just, everything's just getting better. So the research needs to come with it. Like somebody needs to be understanding why and what we can do to fix it, because it's obviously still going to be a part of the game. We play a contact sport, like things like this happens, but the amount that are done by themselves without any contact is atrocious.
Yeah. And you always see it after each game. You'll get a picture in the paper or something of someone down, like you said, with no one around them, and you just think, "Fuck, that's a year. That's a year of someone's career just gone like that." It's brutal. What we will do when we do the recap later on, I will be pointing at you to say Berardi, because your pronunciation was beautiful compared to me absolutely butchering it. So I'll do Liam Henderson. I'm fine with that, but you can do that bit. And your fifth and final pick, Lana, of this team, who are you going for?
My fifth and final pick is Sofia Cantore, who was the assist provider for both goals yesterday. I got to play with her in Sassuolo. She came on loan 3 seasons ago now. And you know when you just have those players that you just click with. I remember our first training session here. The two of the defenders were like 2 of the up and coming Italian centre halves, and me and her, like, one touch, one goal, and the 2 defenders turned around and looked at the coach like, "What are we supposed to do?" And it was just strange, because it's always taken me like maybe a few weeks to try and get to know someone.
The chemistry,
it just clicked straight away. And honestly, she was class, and she's grown so much, and she's just signed for Washington Spirit, so she's going out to America after the Euros. So future's bright for that lassie.
And is that where the big money is? If you head over to America, is that the big, or is it the English Premier League? Which is it?
I think it probably depends. I think there's a lot of money going down in England just now, but I think the full package for the NWSL now is it's just everything, isn't it? It's the life, it's the money, the famous status of what you can be.
Yeah, because I was in America, as you know, a couple of weeks ago, and in the Gold Cup, America's men's team were playing, I can't remember who they were playing in the semi-final, Guatemala or something like that. But the women's team were playing Canada in a friendly, and that was on in the pubs more than the men's team was.
Yeah.
Which I found just great, because they are the best team in the world. I think they're still ranked number 1. I missed, how do we pronounce this player's name?
Sofia Cantore.
Cantore, okay. And so with Sofia Cantore, you never get it. I've just done my headphones again. This has never happened, Paul. Why is this happening? But I know how to fix it this time, which is good. With Sofia Cantore, you spent 6 months on loan. Was she 6 months on loan 1 year? How long was she there?
It should have been a year, but she was 6 months because she ended up breaking her leg in the national team. Yeah, so it got cut short, but I think she was still like second top goal scorer, like loads of assists. She was just.
And see when it's a lone player that goes, does it feel like you're going through a breakup? Like, how does it feel? Because obviously you said one touch chemistry straight away, but you gutted.
Yeah. It's hard. It happens every year as well, because we're a club that's prone to growing youth players. We get a lot of players that come through on loan. So it happened like 2 years in a row. So I'm just patiently waiting on the next one to turn up.
You laughing at me getting my headphone put nicely back on there by Paul. That was nice. Thank you, Paul. It was just, I don't know if I tried to be as professional as I could, but I was digging into my ear the whole time you were speaking there. But yeah, that's because if you are at that level, I suppose, developing players and stuff like that, there must be players around you right now that you've got really high hopes for. Give us someone that we should look out for from the Sassuolo team, or someone who's been on loan there recently.
From loan recently, Chiara Beccari, who is currently at Juventus, she went back to our current club, Juventus. She had her first season as a first team player at Juventus last season. Started off really well, but still needs to get that game time. So the fact that Cantori's now left, she'll probably take her place, so she could be the breakthrough. She's just missed out on the Euros. She got injured the last training before the game, so she had to get pulled out last minute. But otherwise, she would have been in this Euros. She's definitely one for the future. Sassuolo, actually, we have a couple of good ones coming through who are in part of the under-17s Italian team who will be going to the World Cup for the under-17s. So Guercioni and Venturelli.
And are you lovely? Are you like, what's the nicest way of putting this? Are you like the fairy godmother? Yeah, experience is much better than fairy godmother, isn't it? Granting their wishes. Do you feel? I'm going to put it in Scottish terms. Do you feel old as fuck when you're around those kids, or how does it feel?
Old as fuck. That's probably probably the best way to put it. No,
yeah.
It's funny because a few years ago, the youngsters come up in Italy. They don't say your age. They say the year they're born. So like, okay. 2000, 2001, 2002, and already try to work that out how old you are. I'm not at it, but I'm getting there now. And to start with, it was like 2002, 2003, and I'm like, right. When they start coming, when I left school, I'm done. but we're already there. I've already got 2008s and 2009s in my team. So I'm like...
No. I did a freshers gig last year and they were all born in 2006. And I was like, it's the Germany World Cup. Like, that was my reference point. Like, I was like, I left school that year. Like, what is happening? Just mad.
They didn't see Italy win the World Cup.
No, of course they wouldn't have. Yeah. That was 2000. The Materazzi moment. Wow. Okay. So that's your team. We'll do a recap in a minute. The manager, the usual rule, someone has to be someone in your phone book to be managing this team. Who are you going for, Lana?
I thought about this a lot, but I was struggling. I'm just going to throw a random one in there just because he's mental.
Who are you going for?
Prince Boateng.
As in Kevin Prince Boateng? How have you got... Oh, one of the strips. How what? Right, so many questions. Also, personally, I would have picked your mum as a manager, seeing as she helps you win the Scottish Cup. I would have gone for that. But why? Right, I mean, so many questions. Kevin Prince Boateng, what? How?
We played together at Fiorentina. We were there at the same time. Had to do media events and stuff together, and we just... Aye.
Good guy. I've seen him on a couple of podcasts, and he comes across as very intellectual and also mental.
Mental. I think he's calmed down a bit since he stopped playing football, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Why him then? Why you just want a bit of carnage?
I think a bit of carnage, but also someone who knows football. So he's been about, he's seen a lot of leagues, and I just think he would do anything he could to win, to be honest with you.
When you look at this team, who do you feel sorry for in your team? So we've got Stefan Klos, we have Liam Henderson, we've got Aaron Cuthbert, we have Dominic, you can do the pronunciation of the last two, we have...
Domenico Berardi.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said Domenico, so yes, Domenico Berardi and...
Sofia Cantore.
So Sofia Cantore. Who do you feel sorry for that, and why is it Aaron Cuthbert? Because she's just going to be sitting in there watching Liam speak Italian to two people, while Stefan Klos is just... I've never met Stefan Klos, but I'd imagine he just sits there waxing his chest. So that's probably what he'll be doing. So how is she going to fit into this, do you think?
To be honest, she's probably just as mental as the rest of them. I'd probably feel sorry for Stefan Klos because he's the only defender I've got in there. So
you turn around. That's a good point, actually. You turn around and Aaron Cuthbert and Kevin Prince Boateng are just in shots together. Like, great, we're ready to go. And then what's next for you, Lana? Because you've still got a few years left to play. You established earlier you'll probably stay in Italy. Are you looking to move into coaching? You're looking to move into media? What are you wanting to do in the next few years? What's the plan?
Yeah, I'm kind of just keeping my options open right now. Going down all the routes of getting my coaching badges, but I'm really enjoying the scouting side of football.
Okay.
I've been looking into that and working closely with someone to try and learn how to do that and find the next big thing, because just having worked with the youngsters over the last few years, it's just exciting. And to try and find that, I don't think it's easy to find the next big thing, especially at such a young age, because even when you're looking at players now, you can't even look at 15, 16-year-olds because they're already picked up. You need to go lower. And I think that challenge of trying to figure out if a player's actually good at that age isn't the easiest thing. So keeping my options open, but probably staying in football, yeah.
And probably staying in Italy?
100%.
Yeah. Why would you when you're going to the beach tomorrow? I'm going to Arnold Clark. Like, that is the difference between our lives. That sounds much better, doesn't it? And then in terms of national team, everything in Scotland, hopefully we'll see you back over here playing. You've got 40 caps. I can't remember how many goals. Do you know how many goals off the top of your head?
4? 5?
Is that all? I thought it was more.
I always get put on the wing.
Yeah, that is a very Scottish thing, isn't it? Even we put John McGinn on the wing, we put Scott McTominay on the wing. We will put anyone on the wing because we don't produce wingers. So yeah, I love that. That's your record. I get put in the wing. It's not my fault. And yeah, if here's the last two questions we've asked the other couple of footballers. 1, your best friend in football, and 2, if someone was to YouTube a goal of yours to sum up how you play, what would you go for? So, best friend in football, who you got?
I have 2. I have a Scottish and an Italian one.
Very diplomatic.
Yep.
Who do you work for, the UN? Like, what you go for?
I'm going to say my Scottish one because she's obviously probably going to see this. Danny Pagliarulo. We grew up together and played together at Spartans. So yeah, we've probably been best friends for like the last 13, 14 years. Stood by it all. So shout out to her.
And who are you replacing Danny with now you've moved to Italy? Who's your other best friend out there?
Alice Parisi.
I've noticed you don't have Danny's strip behind you. I have noticed that. That's
something. Never gave me one.
Something we need to rectify. And then if you to YouTube a goal of yours, what one?
I'm going to say last season I scored against Roma, and it was they had just scored, and we literally took the kick off. Ball went to the defender, and she put it over the head of the centre half, and I've just caught it on the half volley, other side of the goal. But I'm like way out of the box. I had no right shooting from there, but I just thought, give it a go, and it went in.
Love it. Yeah. Do you know, it's a perfect place to end on when you've got someone who grew up in Perth, wasn't allowed to play football, saying, YouTube my goal against Roma. That is the perfect way to end it. Lana Clelland, thank you so much for joining us on Fantasy Fives.
Thank you for having me.